Let me take a moment to tell you what motivates me, and let me tell you that I am motivated by a vision which exists in all of the great religions, in Christianity and Judaism, in Islam and Buddhism, and other religions. And it states, "So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you."
You were in the front lines of trying to desegregate school housing at the University of Chicago. You were even arrested. What was it that motivated a 20-year-old white kid from Brooklyn to do that?
As far back as I can remember, injustice is something that I have always fought throughout my life.
Really, what we do understand is there is a growing underclass in the United States of America. People who don't feel part of society. They are down below. They have no place to go. What I believe is that this country has the wealth to guarantee free education through college to every child in this country. And we have the capability of providing a national health care system. If you give people hope, if you address housing problems, economic problems, educational problems, you're going to go a long way to cutting the drug problem, and you're going to make this a far more civilized society.
And Mr. Speaker, I've got a problem. I've got a problem with a president and a Congress which allows 5 million children to go hungry, 2 million people to sleep out on the streets, and they say, we're getting tough on crime. If you want to get tough on crime, let's deal with the causes of crime. Let's demand that every man, woman, and child in this country have a decent opportunity and a decent standard of living. Let's not keep putting poor people into jail and disproportionately punishing blacks.
You said something about homos in the military. Was the gentleman referring to the many thousands and thousands of gay people who have put their lives on the line in countless wars defending this country?
Regarding global warming, we have a moral responsibility for our children and grandchildren so that 30 years from now, they do not look us in the eye and they say, hey, all the scientists told you what was going on. Why didn't you do something?
What we are dealing with is a ruling class in this country who in many ways act like alcoholics and drug addicts. They cannot get enough, no matter how many children live in poverty, no matter how high the unemployment numbers are. They want more and more and more. And I say enough is enough.
But let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream. Justice, treating others the way we want to be treated, treating all people, no matter their race, their color, their stature in life, with respect and with dignity.
I think we need to believe in a leader like Bernie Sanders. I believe Bernie Sanders is a protester. He's not scared. And that's why I'm from Bernie.
Morning, everybody. It is February 27th, and it's already been an interesting day. I thought I was going to have live from Austin this morning from a couple local stations, and it turns out that there are so many people, thousands and thousands of people lining up to see Bernie Sanders in Austin this morning that they had to postpone the event. I've heard one statement from Ryan Blavacek saying there's more than 13,000 people expected. This is what happens when you have a populist movement by a person who's, look, we have our next FDR. This is Bernie Sanders has created a movement of the people. We've had enough. We're tired of being ruled by the establishment, and it's a reckoning. It's a reckoning for our government, a reckoning for the corrupt entities that now run our country and have run it and us into the ground. And so very excited today. Basically, this has kind of totally thrown me off track with the newsroom. 104 people plus watching so far. Thank you guys for joining us. If any of you were expecting to turn in to see Bernie right now, just know that we'll be bringing Bernie later. We're waiting for one of those actual feeds to start. And as soon as that happens, I'll end the newsroom and I'll start up a new feed for the Austin event. I don't want to have these events, crushed together like this. So we will go to that. Why did they postpone it, class ceiling? They postponed it because apparently they just couldn't get the people in. There was an article I pushed out earlier, and I'll see if I can't find it. It was dropped. Let me see if I can't find it. It was dropped in Slack earlier, and it just is the ridiculous number of people that are waiting in line. Apparently, it shows a massive line. I don't think any of these locations were expecting this. I don't think, because here's what happens. The establishment media isn't telling people about this. They don't show the crowds. When you guys watch an event and we have Scott Galindez bringing us the feed, or Biff Ward bringing us a feed, right? Or one of our volunteers with a phone bringing us a feed, they're panning and showing you the massive crowds. They're showing you the truth. You don't see that on establishment media. They just keep that close in on Bernie. They're not going to show you how many thousands of people, right? And just to bring up an interesting point, yesterday in South Carolina, and we are going to talk a lot about South Carolina today. We're going to run a video from a gentleman who was canvassing in South Carolina over the last, I don't know how many days, weeks, and he's got some really good news to tell us about what he experienced there and the overwhelming amount of Bernie support. Because establishment media knows that this 20-point diff that they're claiming, or this 20, 30-point difference that Hillary has with Bernie in terms of South Carolina, they know that's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And with what just happened recently with Hillary Clinton and the Black Lives Matter protester and the way she wholly disrespected that woman, I'm sorry, but Hillary Clinton was an absolute bitch. And the words that came out of her mouth after that, now back to the issues. You know, the issue was standing right in front of you, establishment woman. The issue was standing in front of you, the people of the United States asking you what the fuck. And you couldn't answer the question. You again had poor judgment, couldn't answer the question. Anyway, I'm going all over all sorts of things. We're going to talk about South Carolina. We're going to talk about what's going on there. But today, Austin rally, when it happens, we're going to cut to it. And we'll just go there, have fun. Lots of cool stuff. We're gonna try to run a video from Democracy Now! I think I've used their stuff before, and hopefully it won't slam us. Amy Goodman, by the way, hi Democracy Now! My name is John Ellis, and I'm really slow to learning how all of these great independent news networks that have been on the web are. And I just want to say, guys do great stuff. Lee Fong, I watched a video with you and him. We're going to run that clip today, talking about showing direct connection between the establishment media. I mean, it's the complete collapse of integrity in journalism. There is no integrity in journalism. When you have the kind of power you have as a journalist, to get in your, to sit in your establishment journalist anchor news chair and lie. You're not telling the news when you get up there and do that. When you are working for the Hillary campaign or an aspect thereof, when it's obvious that your ties are with the campaign, you cannot, as a journalist, get up there and say that you are speaking unbiased. That say that you are offering. We're going to watch that video. It's ridiculous. The bigger point though to that is, what difference does it make? None of these journalists, they don't care. We were talking about Rachel Maddow the other day. Does she care? I don't think she cares. Rumor has it Will Ferrell is flip-flopping around. I don't know what the hell Will Ferrell is doing. He's trying to ride the fence. We know Morgan Freeman cared more about his paycheck than he cares about the people. I really say it comes down to paychecks versus planet. Your profit, people who are interested in their profit, their personal gain, like Morgan Freeman, right? Who's stooging for Hillary now, and any journalist right now, Chris Matthews, how far is your head up the establishment's ass? You know, we have people like Amy Goodman, we have people like Cenk Uygur, we have, I don't even know all their names, but these guys have been out there, and of course BTV, volunteers of BTV, going out there and telling the truth. And we need to look, Democracy. Look, when I go to Democracy Now, I'm looking at something, I give $10. I've been giving money to these places because we use their articles, and I don't know what else to do besides that. So I give them $10, $5, $20, whatever I can when I can, right, to all these independent media sources. And I suggest you guys do the same to keep them operating, because there's going to be a shift in media. Establishment media is going to get taken down. It's no longer relevant. It's no longer it's not a conversation. We want a conversation like we have here. D. Jensen, John is on. Yeah, I know, I'm going and going. Amy Goodman goes out there and gets herself arrested. I saw that. We have a clip, a longer clip that I listed about Flint. And she does a report on Nestle and how Nestle. Oh, one of those corporations. Yeah, Morgan Freeman is a big disappointment. Can somebody please tell me Jay Wick, I was reading that, yes. How many bad responses, misjudgments, controversies does Hillary have to be responsible for before black voters see her for the crony she is? I don't know. That's a great question. I'm just checking on the feeds. Fox 29 San Antonio is one of the people bringing us a feed, and it's still showing me a skyline here. What else? That's a great question. Yes, Paul. Citizen journalism, 7 billion strong. That's awesome. I didn't realize that number. Yes, we will be doing South Carolina numbers. I will be doing something, folks. As soon as we figure out what's going on with the Austin event, which I'm expecting to have to go on live with at some point here soon. As soon as that happens, basically I'll know what I can do for the rest of the day. And maybe we'll just keep going. Maybe I'll create a rally or something, or a streamathon, and we'll come on and we'll go through the South Carolina numbers. I want South Carolina to know that we are with you, because this is a state-by-state thing. So here, Bernie 2060 TV, we're going to be talking about South Carolina today. It's about South Carolina today. Okay. Every state counts. Every state matters. Every vote matters. So please, you want to end oppression in the South? Something that should have been done 200 years ago? You want to end oppression in the United States for everybody, but in particular minorities? Then help us put Bernie Sanders in office. We are all here together for you. Hillary has the establishment for you, and we've seen what the establishment has done for you in the 90s. We've seen what the establishment does for you. We see what Hillary thinks of you at $500 plate dinners, where she basically tells Black Lives Matter protester to fuck off. We need to get back to the issues. Please, South Carolina, this is my plea. As a privileged white man in Oregon, please help me elect Bernie Sanders, because I promise you that we will do everything we can to make your lives better. That's my promise. I won't do it with Hillary. Because Hillary won't do it for you either. Hillary doesn't give a shit about you. She doesn't give a shit about any of us. We're going to look at some articles, some documents to talk about that. Okay, so I'm Smokey John. SC is only one state. We're gonna talk about that. It's only one state, but it matters, and we're actually gonna do way better. Maybe this is a good time to play this video. Maybe we need to play this video. Get everybody thinking differently about South Carolina. South Carolina votes really matter. They're gonna be huge, and if Tim Black is out there in the audience, come on into the hangout. We were supposed to test, but come in. I wanted Tim Black to come in. Maybe we'll have him on later for a streamathon to talk about stuff. But he had some great things to say, and we were talking about getting him in here. And also there've been a couple links pushed out to us. Christian with a K, thank you for grabbing this link to Fox San Antonio. But let's listen to this guy. This is Danny Fitro, and he says, I said states, but he meant cities in his report. This is a report from South Carolina for the official Bernie Sanders campaign. So he's been canvassing for them, and just listen to what he has to say, because you're going to be surprised. This is why we want to encourage, blast the web with just hashtag South Carolina, just to let them know that we show support. And, let's get out there today. I know Bernie's in Texas. He's focused on Texas right now. They had to get him out there because of what's going on with Super Tuesday and that massive flux. But understand, I just, before I run this, I want you to understand something. Yesterday, Orangeburg. Did you notice that Orangeburg trended yesterday in Twitter? Killer Mike trended yesterday in Twitter. Right? And when Orangeburg was trending, they were talking about Bernie's small rally. Okay? And they showed a picture of this small rally. For Bernie, it was a small rally, right? It had a couple hundred people there, and it was in a gym, and so it didn't look very full. And but it was great. We recorded it. We broadcast it. I think that was may have been the one on C-SPAN. I'm not sure. Anyway, we had it. We had a feed of it. Beautiful speech, wonderful crowd, right? And everybody was pushing out, oh, Bernie's, look at how the small turnout for Bernie Sanders. And I'm like, yeah, look at the small turnout at Hillary's. So Hillary had a thing going on in South Carolina too, also small. And I posted a link to that because there were people asking her, calling her out for the Black Lives Matter incident, right? And I said, there at least, here's Bernie's small rally, here's Hillary's small rally in a town of like 20,000 people. So it really doesn't matter, folks. It was a very small town anyway. And the difference, here's what I was thinking. This whole time I was thinking, that I'm sure Bernie has lots of small rallies in lots of places. We just don't see them, right? And even so, that's like the first time. That's the first time we've ever seen, or it's like Bernie had a Hillary-sized rally, right? That's what Hillary gets everywhere she goes. All right, so I'm getting, I just want you guys to know that I'm now getting audio from whatever this is going on in Austin. It's, give me 1 second here. It's Elton John. It's a very nice clean shot from Fox San Antonio. I'll show you that right now. Obviously, I'm not going to. Here you go. So they're getting ready to go over there. I don't know when. I've heard somebody said 35 minutes. That was about 10 minutes ago. So maybe we're going live here at 10 o'clock my time. And we're already at 9:40. So I really haven't covered a lot of news with you folks. I apologize for that, but we've kind of been bouncing around. We watched that Nina Turner thing. Let's watch this. Let's watch this guy. This is about 10 minutes long, but I really want you to hear it because he talks about the different counties, different places he goes to. He talks about what he sees in terms of numbers. Be encouraged by this and encourage South Carolina. We're with you. This is all of us together, South Carolina. We're with you. So check out what this guy has to say. Is Danny Fitrow with the campaign talking about stats in South Carolina.
Hey everybody, I'm making this video from my home, and I wanted to let you know that I went to South Carolina, and I worked with the official Bernie campaign in Charleston, South Carolina. The thing about Charleston, South Carolina is of the top 5 most populous states in South Carolina, number 1 is Columbia, and I did not go there. Number 2 is Charleston, and then the order 3 and 4, Mount Pleasant and North Charleston. North Charleston is not an area of Charleston, it's its own city, North Charleston. They're all there on the Delta and the river going up. So I went up there and canvassed, and I was shocked because I went to Iowa. All this is through Rev Starts With Us. You can check it out at revstartswithus.tumblr.com or whatever Tumblr. So a lot of us that went to Iowa also went to South Carolina. And in Iowa, you know, we were greeted really well. We rose from 60 points down to a virtual tie. In South Carolina, I was kind of getting myself ready for a battle. I was thinking I'm going to be going and getting doors slammed in my face. I'm going to have people tell me I'm already Hillary. I don't need to hear anymore and stuff like that. Thing is, it's an open primary in South Carolina, so we talked to independents, we talked to Democrats, and we seem to get a lot of Republicans on our list too. Maybe independents that behaved as Republicans, or maybe they changed and we had an old list. I don't know. But the thing is, it was nothing like I expected. I went to, I'll give you my numbers here. I've got them right here. I kept the statistics because it was shocking. It was literally shocking. In Mount Pleasant, I was canvassing $500,000 homes, $500,000 homes. And we got a lot of Republicans, but we got a lot of people that said Bernie for the people that we got home. You know, you get some not homes, you get some Republicans, and out of, let's see, 35 respondents, 29 were pro-Bernie and 6 were pro-Hillary. It is just shocking, not what I expected. It was similar to what we were getting in Iowa. And that was, like I said, upper class, upper middle class, $500,000 homes. And then the next day, I did Charleston. And when I did Charleston, I just didn't even canvass homes. I canvassed downtown. I specifically chose African Americans because that's where I heard, according to the media, that Bernie has a weakness and he doesn't connect with the African American voters. So I just went up to only African American voters to get as many people as possible for the time that I was there. And I canvassed 38 African American voters. And they were all registered voters. I checked with them, do you vote? Are you registered? And it was 38-0, Bernie. Most of the people were probably 35 or under. A couple people were maybe in their 40s, one maybe close to 50, but 38-0, Bernie in Charleston, downtown. So the next day I canvassed North Charleston. And when I canvassed North Charleston, that was working class. It was a mix of black and white, modest homes, neighborhood. And what we got was 21 Bernie supporters and 6 Hillary supporters. Now, if you imagine, if everybody voted at that rate, Bernie would win, 38-0, 21-6, 29-6. It would be phenomenal. It'd be like, 85 to 15% or something like that. So I began to wonder, is this just me? Is this like an oddity? Is it an anomaly? Is it just, am I the only one getting these statistics? So I started asking other people that were canvassing. We were all in that area and they were all getting similar numbers. Some that were canvassing in older African-American neighborhoods were getting more Hillary support than I was, like way more, but still not more than Bernie support. So then I contacted my friend Dan Keyes. He went to Iowa with the group, and he was not in Mount Charleston. He was not in Charleston. He was not in North Charleston. He was in Greenville, Greenville, South Carolina. It's just south of North Carolina and just in from Georgia. It's also one of the top 10 largest cities in South Carolina. And he said he wasn't getting as much Bernie support as me, but still getting more Bernie support than Hillary support where he was. And then I contacted my Facebook friend, Dave too. And David is in Columbia, the largest city in South Carolina. He's there as we speak. He's there as I make this video. And today is Friday, the day before the election. And he told me in Columbia, he is getting responses of 24 Bernie supporters to 2 Hillary supporters in Columbia. And he says that just counts the people on his list, which are voters, they are likely primary voters. They have a record of voting Democratic. He has 12 more people that were not on the list that he came across that are saying that they're planning on voting tomorrow, and all 12 of them are Bernie supporters. So, I mean, it's just shocking, and nobody's telling you this. And, I'm watching MSNBC, I'm watching CNN, and, people are reporting from Charleston. When I was there in Charleston, Morning Joe reported from there. So people are on the ground, but just like, are they not talking to people? Are they not talking to actual people? Are they just going with polls? Or are they talking to people and they just don't care? The thing is, I don't care what the polls say. I was on the ground in South Carolina. I was talking to people. I was going to their homes. And I know Bernie way outnumbers the support of any Republican, any Hillary there. But are they going to vote? According to likely Democratic voters, you know, Hillary's way ahead. That's what the polling numbers said, all the companies. And, you know, it may be that way because sadly, maybe they don't vote. Maybe they won't vote. But it sounds like they're going to vote. We could be in for a shock. I mean, I don't want to make a bad prediction, but if all those people that I talk to vote, that's what's going to happen. If all those people that Dan Keyes talked to vote, that's what's going to happen. If all those people that David Tu talked to vote, that's what's going to happen. So, you know, New Hampshire, we won by a lot. In Iowa, we came back from 60 down. And I think if the Iowa election was even later, I think we'd just be pulling more ahead. Bernie is past Hillary in many national polls. So what has to happen is people just have to vote. And if anybody saw the town hall with, or it wasn't really a town hall, it was from Chicago with Chris Matthews, Bernie pointed out something very, very important. And Chris Matthews was like, how are you going to get this passed? And a lot of people say, how's Bernie going to get any of this stuff passed? It's too far out. Here's how you get it passed. All the people vote for Bernie because they believe that we matter. They believe we have a democracy. They believe that together, when we stand up and we say enough is enough, that Bernie will win. Well, what happens is you don't have to convince the Republicans to pass what Bernie wants to pass. You don't have to convince the yellow dog Democrats to pass what Bernie wants to pass. You don't have to convince the corporate Democrats to pass what Bernie wants to pass. You just have to tell your congressman that you support Bernie and you want them to vote with Bernie. And if they don't get your vote. So it doesn't matter how much money they get. It doesn't matter who is supporting them, who's donating them, or, you know, what super PACs they have. It doesn't matter because we stay involved and we vote them out. And actually, we can vote a lot of them out when we vote Bernie in. Let's give Bernie the Congress he needs, and then we'll put everyone else on notice. We can do this. And maybe South Carolina, unlike Nevada, which was, that was a mess. It was a caucus. It was at noon. It was on a Saturday. A lot of people couldn't get time off to go. And if you check YouTube and look at all the stuff that happened, a lot of unregistered voters voted in the Nevada caucus for Hillary. It seemed to be like people were just getting shuffled into these rooms just to be counted for Hillary, and then they registered after the election. That's on video. It's not a conspiracy. It was a mess. It was a mess there. So, this is different. This is a primary, and it's open, and independents will be voting. And this could be a big surprise. If everybody shows up to vote who wants Bernie, this will shock the world. And if not, well, we're going to get status quo results. And I hope we don't get that. So it's up to us, America. Go Bernie. Go South Carolina. Go vote.
Well, so if that doesn't inspire you, if that doesn't make you feel a little bit better about what's going on, and the fact that mainstream media is lying, right? They're lying. Boots on the ground, people talking to people, they know the truth. With me, joining us is Tim Black. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man?
Hey, John, how you doing, man? Good to see you, my brother.
Oh, my gosh, you sound great. Woo, there's no test needed. There's no test needed. Everybody, Tim Black is here. We haven't even done a test in the production room yet. Tim was like, hey, and said, let's bring him in. Tim, welcome to the production environment. If you look in the bottom of the Hangout, you'll see one of the screens that has us in it, and that's a like what I'm doing, preview and then lives, just for helpful information.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. Wow.
Hey, man, how you doing, man? John, man, this is great, man. I'm glad we were able to get our schedules to kind of line up, man, and be able, because today is so important, man. It's just, I shot a video earlier, John, as a morale boost for all of the Facebook supporters, all of the volunteers, all of the people out on the ground, just a word of encouragement for folks, man, because it's a lot, man. People are really stressing out right now. They're pumped, but they're stressed.
They are.
You know how it is. You know how it is.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you did that. If you could drop that link into live production Slack for us, or get it to one of the other people, that would be fantastic. And then we'll get it to these guys. We've got more than 260 people viewing us right now live, and trying to figure out what the hell we're doing. And this is an unusual version of the newsroom because I don't know if you've been listening to what's going on, but we've got a live feed coming from Fox San Antonio here, and well, we had a live feed. Here's the deal. It looks like they were going to, we've got South Carolina happening today, but Bernie's moved on to Texas. Hillary's moved on. I think she's in Texas too. I'm not sure where she's at a plate dinner somewhere, I'm sure. But 13,000 people in Austin. There's a line. Apparently the lines are so long, they had to postpone the event. That's what's going on here.
Man, that's so amazing, man. John, I'm telling you, I mean, I think everything is being underreported for a reason, John. What you just played, that clip you just played for Boots on the Ground, I think is being underreported for a reason to keep morale down, to try to keep us suppressed. They say, if we tell folks that black folks aren't voting for Bernie, then they'll believe it, and maybe they'll vote Hillary, or maybe it'll disillusion some white voters, some Latino voters, because it's like a psychological game. It's like psychological warfare, John. I think that's what's going on, but it's not working because we're pumped up, man.
Oh yeah. It's not working. We have some video today for the newsroom. It depends on how long we go here. You're familiar with Amy Goodman, Democracy Now?
Yes, I am. Yeah, she's very inspirational. I love her.
Absolutely. I'm still learning. Like, just finding out about you and Amy and Cenk Uygur and all the people that have been doing independent media for a long time. I'm new to this, right? I jumped in with Bernie. You guys have been doing this for a living. You've been doing this for a while. So thank you. I appreciate it. But Amy Goodman did a piece with Lee Fong yesterday, the day before, and they just blow the doors open on the connection between establishment media and people that claim to be pundits talking about politics and what's going on in some kind of I want to say unbiased, but we know that's not possible on establishment media, but in some kind of a way that you would think they're offering advice without being attached to a candidate, but then they expose the truth. Here you are, you actually work for this candidate, just like we saw with Jonathan Capehart, right? Oh, right. You're sleeping with a dude working for the candidate. That's why this came out. It's just, the corruption is ridiculous.
It is, man.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, you're absolutely right, John. It's sad, actually, at least with what I do, and I'm sure what you do, obviously, Bernie 2016, we let people know at the gate, look, we support this candidate. We are here. This is what our beliefs are. If that's a problem, then hey, this is not what I want to watch. But these guys, like you say, it's the rules. They say that they're impartial, but then they're very partial, as you can see. And that's just, people are tired of it, Jay. That's why you and I are going to be successful. We just got to hang in there long enough, man. The more people know about what you're doing, John, the better you're going to do, man.
Oh,
no doubt.
Thank you.
No doubt.
I appreciate that. Let's take a chill for a second, because I'm getting all excited. And I would like you to address an article that I had pulled up. I didn't know I was going to have you in here to talk about it. I wasn't sure what to say about it. But real quick, for BTV folks, I think we've got some people doing comment mod, which is good. I didn't know we were going to have anybody. So this channel is about the conversation, everyone. And you know that. It looks like I've got some comment moderators working them, so I'm going to start dropping those underneath. Thank you, everybody, for that. This is about conversation, folks. The more conversation we have, the more we learn, the more we engage, and the more activity we create on the internet, which is how we help boost Bernie Sanders and the message of Bernie Sanders, to get it into the minds and the ears of those folks who don't always look to the internet for information or for truth. And that's been a big problem with this race. That's why folks like Tim and Democracy Now! And Bernie 2016 TV, why we're so important. Independent media right now, we are the new muckrakers. This has happened before. And it is our job to rise above the lies of establishment media and preach the truth. And we must bring the truth forcibly bring the truth in front of the faces, in front of the eyes of those who are still connected to establishment media. We don't want to do it in a mean way. We want to do it in a way that opens their eyes to reality. So I just wanted to get that in. We're going to look at this article here, Tim, and what it is an article that says, I hate the way this is titled. It's for Black women in South Carolina, it's Clinton's turn. Right? So it's already an interestingly biased article by the New York Times, and what this shows here. And people are gonna look at that, but a couple things in this. I just want to read them to you, and then you and I'll come back on it, and you can talk about it. There's one woman. They give two women's perspectives. And the first woman, these are African American ladies, and I'm trying to find it right here, folks. I'm scrolling all around. The first woman makes this statement where she says, "I want to see a womb." Here it is. Here's the quote they're using on this. This is a quote. I want someone with a womb in the White House at least one time before I die, Mrs. DeBoss said. Right. Now, I have no problem with that. I can understand the sentiment, but I think, we can address that in a different way. But here at the bottom of the article, even though the article is titled African Americans in South Carolina, it's time for Clinton or whatever the hell it is, very biased. The bottom of the article talks about a Mrs. Lemons. Okay, and Mrs. Lemons is saying, I've seen so many presidents come and go, and the situation never seems to get better. But Bernie says, I know what your struggle is. Right? And Mrs. Clinton's promise to continue the Obama administration's policies is not enough. Despite the Affordable Care Act, she does not have enough health insurance because South Carolina rejected the expansion of Medicaid. So she's holding on to Mr. Sanders' goal of universal health care. Now, what I want to bring this around to, Tim, is what would you say to the lady who's basically saying, I want to see a womb in the White House before I die? I can understand it, but really, let's pick the right womb. I guess.
Exactly. I mean, what I tell people, man, and that's a very common thing, when people have objections, when they're saying, I understand it. I don't even try to talk someone out of that belief system. I'm like, Hey, I get it. I understand what you want. It's a natural thing. You want to see a reflection of yourself. You think this would be a great step for women. And frankly, I'm with you on that. But the thing is, we got to choose the right one. When before Obama got in the office, I wanted a Black president, but I didn't want Flavor Flav. I didn't want Lil Wayne. I had criteria. So let's look at who they are and what they bring to the table and how and what their histories say, because the best indicator of future actions are past actions. So what has she done in the past? We got to look at that. If you get the wrong woman in, she may damage the brand so badly to the point where it may never happen again for future generations. So you got to be careful what you're choosing here. That's what I say.
That's actually a really good point. I don't know if you watch the show Scandal, which is, even though it's ridiculous entertainment television, right?
Sometimes I have watched it in the past, not lately. What's up with that?
Okay, so it's interesting you said what you just said, that if you put the womb in the office just to do so. And I think it's interesting we're using womb, that she used womb as opposed to vagina. Either way, I think it's a little more respectful. We'll call it that. It still comes down. Doesn't it still come down to saying I want a woman in office simply because she's a woman, right? Doesn't it really just come down to that? I mean,
it does. Really? Yeah, that's what she means. Yeah.
There's no. Right. No look at judgment, no look at past, which, oh my God, I can't even, I've said this many times to you. I've said this many times online. I'm not a Black person. I don't understand how any Black person can look at the 90s and look at Hillary Clinton and be okay. That's just.
Well, you know what it is? Here's the thing, man. The Clintons have always been experts at the game of perception. They give the perception to Black folks that they like Black folks. And due to the history that's in America, reflecting race relations, racial tensions, racial injustice, discrimination that is very well documented. The thing is this: when Black folks see white folks that are accepting or appear to be accepting, that admire us, there is no better. They say the best. What is it? The best form of admiration is, what is it? Imitation. Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Right.
Well, when Clinton was playing his saxophone and hanging out with Arsenio and Magic Johnson and Bill Cosby, he seemed to really like black people. And some people just can't get out of their mind that this guy liked us.
Right.
If he likes us, they transfer that emotion and say, if he likes us, obviously he's going to look out for us. Obviously, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And that's just a psychological damage. That's from history. And the thing is, John, one last point, man, I think the only way you combat that is with information. Low information voters go strictly on emotion because they don't know anything else. And almost you gotta just give them a little bit of information, like, hey, but they cut off welfare reform, and guess what? That didn't help us. That sent a lot of black people like you and I into poverty. They're like, what? I didn't know that. Yeah, that's what happened. You may not know about it and talk about it. So that's what I do. I give them little pieces, then I walk away, then I come back and give them a little bit more information. That's the only solution, John.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So it was right now we have more than 330 people watching us right now. I just wanted to let you know that we've got a big
I need to
crowd
tweet
here.
it out, man. That's great. I need to tweet it out, man. I just popped in. I didn't.
I'm so glad
Facebook, man.
I'm so glad you're here. And I was listening to what you say, and I'm reading comments from Eddie, who's trying to let me know what's going on. Just so everybody knows, we don't have a feed yet. I know it's after 10 o'clock, and I know I said I thought we were going to go live in 20 minutes, and this is why we're not creating I try not to create the streams until I actually know that the event, that they're happening. So many times we think we got a local feed and it disappears, or it turns out to be a national feed that we can't carry. A lot of times technology doesn't work. The other day we had one of our volunteers show up somewhere and we thought we were going to get a feed from them, and they drove a long time and they worked really hard, and then the Wi-Fi was locked down to everybody. So, I mean, this is what we face in a war, and we really are at war. I don't want anybody to mistake what's going on right now for an election. I'm 46 years old. Tim's probably around my age, if not. I don't know.
I'm 41, man.
Okay, you're 41. So you and I both, Tim, have lived long enough to see enough elections. And I don't know. I'm just going to say this. I have never in my life heard a politician use the words establishment. I've never heard a politician call them out, call people corrupt, call the government corrupt, call out specific entities, corporations for being corrupt. I mean, this is wouldn't you call it vastly radical at this point in time?
Vastly radical. It's so radical. Initially, when I first heard Bernie Sanders, I said, my God, I hope this man, his safety is not going to be in danger. I mean, We talked about fear of Obama being hurt while in office. Bernie Sanders is the guy I really think about, because he's the only one who's actually talking about changing status quo.
Yeah.
Obama just wanted to make you feel good. It wanted to be a representation of how far we've gone racially. But no, Bernie Sanders actually wants to break down some institutional barriers for all people. That's revolution. That's not, hey, you like a seat at the table. Let's change the table. Let's get us let's get some TV stands in here. Let's get some marble. Let's rip the floors out. Let's knock the beams out the walls. Let's open up the floor plan. I mean, he's talking about a total revitalization of how we do politics in America. And believe me, Hillary and her ilk will not go quietly. They're gonna fight. So, hey, be prepared for a fight, guys. Some people, I think they think it's gonna be easy. They're getting down, John. And they're not realizing, man, people don't want to let go of their money. Right. People don't want to give up their money, their privilege, their position, what they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's really sad. It's really been I keep using the word online that there's going to be a reckoning with everybody that chooses their paycheck. The establishment, which really just means paycheck. It really all it comes down to. If you're choosing the establishment, it's because you like the way things are for yourself, and you're thinking about yourself more than other people. And I got to call out some people that I had a lot of respect for, like Morgan Freeman. Dude, I grew up with you, man. A lot of respect for you. You taught me so many things as a kid and as an adult. And then you're shilling for Hillary. I don't get it. You know, there's other people, and I made this statement months ago, Tim, and we're starting to see it happen. We're starting to see it happen. I said, Hollywood is going to have to choose between their paychecks and, you know, Bernie Sanders. You can't get up there as a Hollywood celebrity and go Bernie Sanders and then keep taking a paycheck from the corporations that are trying to stop him from getting in office. What do you do?
There you go. I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, when you brought up Morgan Freeman, I was thinking Will Ferrell. I watched Will Ferrell just yesterday on a clip. He was with Seth Meyers, and he was so funny. And then I stopped laughing and said, hold up. Will Ferrell, he disappointed me. I don't know if I could even enjoy this anymore. I love this guy. You know, I love his comedy. It's funny, but how can you support Hillary? You know what she's done. Come on, guy. I know you read. Yep. So it becomes the thing where some of our icons, some of the people that we respect, like you say, they're going to have to make choices. I saw a clip. Did you run the Bill Maher? I don't know, because I know Bill Maher, they will put a lock on your video. And then
I don't run any of that shit. I don't run anything from HBO.
Well, Michael Eric Dyson and was it Mike Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo?
That's it. They were on Bill Maher last night, and they said some harsh things about what they supported Hillary. Put it that way. They supported Hillary.
Mark Ruffalo? What?
Well, not Ruffalo. I'm sorry, not Ruffalo. He did not. He was the only one who really was like, hey, it was all about the super predator line. It was all about the Black Lives Matter intervention at the event that they paid to be at. Bill Maher had very harsh things to say about Black Lives Matter, and it was and so did Michael Eric Dyson. They both did.
Bill Maher?
It was disappointing. In fact, he cursed them out. Yeah.
I thought he was a big burner. What the hell is wrong with him?
He cursed them out. Well, I guess he wants to separate Black Lives Matter from Bernie Sanders and just focus on them. Like, he didn't say anything about Bernie Sanders at all. He just said that, Black Lives Matter, they should be going after Trump. They should not go after Hillary. And
I disagree. I disagree 100%. What?
Yeah.
I disagree. I'm just gonna say this, and I say this all the time, and there's lots of people. Okay, first of all, back up. Yeah, back up before I say this, because I got a couple of things to tell you about Obama. One, to the statement you made earlier, Tim, Obama for white people was the same way Clinton was for black people. We were like, oh, it's a black guy that likes us, that we can put in office, that we trust. Okay, I'll go for that. Okay, we got lied to too. So, you know,
I love it.
No, you guys had Bill playing the saxophone. We had Obama wearing a suit and tie. I don't know what the hell you call him, whatever, trying to be in this. I don't know what he was, but I still have respect for Obama. I just know now that he's lied to me, right? That's all. He's lied to all of us. And that's all I needed to know that he works for the establishment. And that's it. Right? Plain and simple. But I wanted to answer a few questions, folks. People telling me to go to KEYE TV. I am watching that station. They have not put anything up yet. They run a commercial, then give me color bars. I'm also watching Fox 29 San Antonio, and they keep telling me my stream is starting soon, and they are also lying to me because it's not. So as soon as I know that Austin is up, we will say goodbye in the newsroom, and we will start the other stream up and go from there, right? And Tim, the way this works, we just sit here. We don't change anything.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Right? And you can hang out with me for the Austin stream if you want, or whatever you want to do, man. So just to let everybody know, I am paying attention. We will be going there. What we're really doing here is kind of a weird, effed up newsroom, South Carolina rally, get out the vote thing, combined thing today. That's what we're doing. That has no plan. So on South Carolina, back to South Carolina. Do you know? Because I've been trying to get specifics from people. Last thing I heard, it looks like the polls close at 7 p.m. Eastern. Is that what it is? That's
what it is. 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. I'm going to be tracking a couple different sites that I found, and I just want to say this. I said this earlier to South Carolina. You probably echo the same sentiment that, look, you are one of the states in southern states that has been disenfranchised and kind of forgotten, not only in this election process, but just throughout history. And we want to change that. Bernie Sanders wants to change that. We're all here together, the world. We got people in this production environment from Belgium and France and Germany and all sorts of places that are here for South Carolina today. All right. So I just want to say that. Anything you want to it, Tim?
Oh well, man, that's I mean, I'm actually in Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's the same thing, man. I feel the same way, John. I mean, I just want South Carolinians to know that you're not alone. Like, that's the whole basis of what we're doing, man, is we're all in this together. That's not just a tagline, man. That's actually how it is. That's how we feel. We want this country to be transformed into what it should have been, or what its greatest ideals. And frankly, man, the supporters of Bernie Sanders, to me, and I think if you get to know some of us, you'll find that we do hold those values high in the way that we conduct ourselves, the way we spread the message. But I just want people to know they're on the ground. If you're watching, if you're in South Carolina, man, just keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing. I got your back. John's got your back. You got a wealth of people online. You got a wealth of people in the field. You got volunteers all across the country. I get calls, just as John said, you got people from Belgium, different parts of the world. I get the same thing. I had a show last night. Had a man call me from Singapore. Bernie fan from Singapore.
Nice.
Was like, I had to clap it up, man. Dude, we were standing for a little, like 30 seconds.
Okay, hang on, Tim. So we've been sitting here. This is how this shit works, folks. We've been sitting here watching, waiting for these two feeds to come through from Fox. I just got a feed from KXAN. Bernie's live right now on KXAN. All right. I have no idea how long into this we are here. Looks like 11 minutes or so. So I'm going to, don't ask me why the other ones aren't running, folks. I am going to can this event. We're going to start up the other event, and we'll see you on that other link shortly. So join us. As soon as you see the event created, I'll be creating it. Go to Bernie2016.tv. Bernie2016.tv takes you to our YouTube channel where you'll find the next live event. But you'll see Tim and me, and we'll join you in on that right now. Bye, folks.